Hi, it's Miriam. Glad you're back again. So we're continuing our best to try to make our home user-friendly. Today we're going to begin with the task at hand, reflective listening. What is exactly reflective listening, and how can we best implement it in our own home? Basically, it's giving a child feedback to really match the emotional place where they're at. So if a child says, "Oh my gosh, I had such a bad day," we shouldn't brush their feeling away and say, "No, you didn't." What we could say is, "Wow, I'm sure it must have been challenging. Tell me what happened." Many times parents can make light of what their challenge that they're going through. Their child had an issue. It wasn't easy. We have to be careful not to sweep their feelings under the rug and say things like, "Oh, don't worry, you'll get over it. I'm sure it was nothing," in our plight to try to wish it away. All coming from a good place, but that's not reflective listening. And children don't like when their feelings aren't accounted for. First of all, the positive results of this is that there will be a positive, stronger bond with this child. There will also be an emotional release because they will feel like someone really understands them. The teacher may have not. The bus driver certainly may have not. "Oh, but my mommy, she knows. She really is listening to what I'm going through." Really, the child feels so supported and validated. We have to try to be careful in moments, especially when it's like rushing to get to the next venue on the to-do list of that day, to take that one extra moment to really look with empathetic eyes of what they just went through. Definitely the bond will be stronger, and the place will be surrounding with warmth, and the relationship will be more harmonious. So we see what we want to do is now, more than ever, especially with all this high-tech gadgets, that parents are just more distracted more than ever before and less attentive to what may be going on. I give an example. A child is crying hysterically and they're scared to go up the stairs by themselves and start saying, it's dark, I can't go, I'm scared." And the parent can commonly react with this type of mistake, saying, "Oh, it's not scary. You're a big girl. Even your younger sister goes up by herself. You see, there's nothing there to be scared about." This is not reflective listening. Instead, the response would be like, "Yeah, it's scary. I remember when I was your age that I didn't like to go to dark places myself. You know what? I'll come with you." Even if at that moment, that 1 minute is going to make everything delayed, it saves the day, because the child will feel reassured, and then she'll be more ready to do other tasks and not be feeling like that she was just put down because of her fears. Another way to make the house more user-friendly is by saying things in the affirmative, called positive reframing. For instance, when the child says, I want to go outside, I want to go outside, instead of saying, no, you can't. You can't go outside. Tell them, yes, you can go outside, but not now. We first need to eat. Because when the child hears no, no, no all the time, it could really increase their frustration. And not using a user-friendly language ends up having its negative effect in the relationship. We also want to give more choices, and we have to be very careful not to be very rigid. That's another key point. Whether it's the tone of voice, whether it's not so easily bending some of the rules sometimes. For instance, a situation can be bedtime is at 8 o'clock, and there is a bas mitzvah, and they really want to go. And maybe every once in a while say, at the time that we normally go to sleep is approaching. And today, I just want to let you know that I'm bending the rules a bit. Today, I'm going to go a little lenient on our schedule, and you guys can stay later. And then the child feels like they won a $1 million lottery. They're so excited when the rules are bent in their favor to do something extra fun. So we see we want to create a place of safety, of warmth, of understanding. And sometimes literally keeping the home a little more quiet can really also make the home user-friendly. Too much demanding, too much talking, too much over-lecturing them can be overwhelming. I just remember in my own personal life a guest we had, and they were nonstop talking to me. And I couldn't even say a word, and they would talk and talk and talk. And day after day, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I need some space. And I was remembering that moment of feeling like, wow, I have to be careful that I don't do that to my own children who have to live with me all day long. And not just for, a 1-week period. I like to call it the language of silence. So we're proficient in the language of this language and that language. Let us be proficient in the language of silence. Sometimes parents actually feel a little uncomfortable when it's too silent. And I tell them it's okay. Let them be. They might be more introverted. You might be more extroverted. Yaakov was in the tents. Avram was out there. Of course, we all want our children to be that bubbly, vivacious, energetic, get up and go kind of personality, but maybe their nature is completely opposite than yours, and they are more quiet. Doesn't mean you just let them be, but a little bit give them their space and not bombard them too much with too many questions and too much where they have no space. Because silence is a golden rule. We can instead look out for the body language of the child. If they're silent and their eyes are drooping and they feel, then, maybe it's something we could investigate more into. Or if they're in their room and they're playing nicely and they don't seem like they're very, bothered because you don't see it in any kind of body language, let it be until they feel like speaking to you. We also can help the child label their own feelings so that they can express it more easily. For instance, if the child typically says, "Leave me alone, get out, I didn't do it," so we can help them also be partners with us to create a user-friendly home. Say, I've been really wanting to have a more positive energy in the house. I'd like to ask you, there's a way you can tell me your feelings without saying things like "get out," because "get out" is a bit hurtful. If you really don't want to talk, instead of saying "leave me alone," maybe you can express, I'm bothered right now. I can't talk about it right now. And if a person does want to be left alone, the child can be taught to say, I'm thinking through right now things and I don't want to speak, if that's okay. Can we speak later? And then help them find better ways of communicating their feelings so that they too will be careful to make the home more sweet. So that way, when we see them, taking the approach that is not so warm and friendly, we have to be careful not to overload them with too much information because it does have to match their age. It depends. But definitely we can help everyone in the family member to be aware of the tone of voice and to control the words that just want to fly out and to try best to control the actions. And of course, when we start modeling that behavior, so that we can help them have less maladaptive communication patterns. Definitely will help us because we will have the ability to speculate less because we're looking at their body language. We're understanding that they are human, that they don't have to right then and there just tell us everything. We can think in terms of ourselves. When we're overtired, we don't feel like talking. When we didn't have enough sleep, we may need a little extra space. And then, hopefully, that will help us judge more favorably the situation. And the child will feel it. Because if in our mind we're like, oh my gosh, why are they doing that? They're doing it on purpose. They're being manipulative. Then that kind of psychic energy can be felt and definitely can easily then portray itself in a behavior or a look that can be not a very warm, loving look. So this way we can spy out more wisely and then really choose the approach that we think is best to handle the situation and really keep our cool and the house with a tone of understanding rather than mislabeling. So, can you picture it? Now, a little different in your home. Try to write some of these ideas down. See where you can implement it in your life. Always keep V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha right there at your fingertips, because what we don't want done to us, how much more so we don't want done to our children by us. And it'll go a long way in keeping your home with an aura of peace and tranquility. And slowly but surely you will see the fruits of your labor beginning to unfold. It definitely will have a reverberating effect, and you will enjoy more and more your job as a homemaker. God bless you.